Does this sound familiar? You start a new program or diet, and for a few weeks, things are going all right. You're motivated, you're seeing some results, and then life happens, work gets crazy, your schedule falls apart, or you start feeling burnt out or just not enjoying the process. You miss one workout, and then two, and before you know it, you're right back to where you started. That on off cycle is exhausting. It feels like you're putting in so much effort, but nothing sticks, and it's frustrating because you feel like you're failing and you start to wonder if it's even worth trying anymore. And the truth is, this is one of the most common struggles that we see with clients. And so today we're going to dive into why this happens and more importantly, how you can finally break free from it. We're also going to take you behind the scenes of our Unbreakable coaching process to show you how we help people achieve lasting results without it feeling like another impossible plan or overwhelming routine. And so this is the exact blueprint we use, an exact blueprint that you can use and follow on your own journey. So we're going to break that down for you here today.
Yeah, I'm excited about this episode. We're recording this on January 1st, New Year's Day, right? And so, of course, this is a time where everyone has their resolutions, or they come up with goals they want to reach, or they come up with a word or something like that. Just kind of think about going forward the year they want to do. And I saw this quote the other day. I thought it was really good. It says, "A dream written down becomes a goal broken down in the steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by action becomes reality." And that's kind of exactly what we're going to do today is kind of talk about how to make that action become a reality.
That's an absolute
But be-
banger right there. I love that.
yeah, I thought it was a really cool quote. So I'm excited about today's episode. But before we get started, tell us a little about this contrast therapy I saw you were doing.
Yeah, so I do not like the cold. I've lived in Arizona. I live in Florida now.
Same.
Yeah, so I do this thing where as soon as I notice I'm scared of something, I force myself into it. Part of the reason why we started this podcast too. But cold is something I've never liked, and I notice I'm like, I find myself wanting to go in the ocean, and I'm like always scared. So I'm like, oh, I'm scared of it. Like we need to do something about that. So I found this super cool place here in Tampa that does contrast therapy, and so you do 15 minutes in hot ass sauna and then 5 minute cold plunge. Repeat that 3 times, and it was actually such a cool experience. I think not just for me feeling confident in myself, because you walk out, you feel like you accomplished something, especially when you face something that is uncomfortable and you don't like. So obviously there's that feeling, and there's the physical benefits that come from doing the sauna and the cold plunge. But also, since my biggest emphasis has been on relationships and community and experiences, it was actually such an amazing experience being able to go to those classes and meet all the people there, because when you're sitting in the sauna, they like you kind of go through and they ask you questions, and people got really fucking deep, like sharing very vulnerable stuff, and just like I don't know, it's just very deep, and you don't find that level of depth in really anyone, especially when you're meeting them for the first time. So I just thought that was really cool, and I immediately felt like very connected, and I immediately went and bought a membership to it for that reason, and just for the physical benefits too. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. That's whenever you go to a place, that's new, you always want to kind of feel like you belong there. So that's pretty cool. The first day that you had that experience.
Yeah, I've never experienced anything else like that. So yeah, it was very interesting. But
Okay, so I want to know though on this. So 15 minutes, like for me, that sauna 15 minutes, piece of cake, right? I could sit there for way longer than that. But the cold plunge, I mean, I try to do that in the shower, just turn on cold water like for 30 seconds a minute, and it's brutal. So did you jump in for 5 minutes, or did you like start slow, or you just went for it?
I just went for it
Oh,
because everyone else was like there and they were kind of veterans. And so I was like,
uh,
it's my first time, but I didn't want to be like the first person getting out and being a little sissy. So I was like, all right, we're
uh,
gonna stick it out.
Oh man, I'm like that guy that when in the summer when the water's still cold in the pool, like I put my feet in, I just stand there and like, all right, I'm good today.
I do that at the beach all the time. What do you have going on for the new year? Did you do anything for New Year's Eve?
Went to a neighbor's house and that was a lot of fun. Just kind of had some social interaction and enjoyed that. It was real laid back. Had some great conversations. And then today was just real laid back, really nice, peaceful. I was able to watch football, which is a lot of fun. I was telling you earlier, I was watching the Texas game. That was a way too stressful game for me to watch. But it was a lot of fun, and they won, so good in the end. But yeah, it's been a great day. It's been a great day, really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm feeling good going into this new year.
Yes,
I'm
2025. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be our year. It's gonna be everyone's year.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, overall, I'm feeling very aligned. I think that's the best way that I can put it. I've just never felt this in my entire life before. I feel like everything is just, again, I don't know what other way to articulate it aside from it just feels very aligned. And I almost wonder if that's just because I've been focusing more on the right balance and taking care of myself and focusing on these other things that matter combined with work. So it's just been interesting to like kind of see everything click and me just feel like I'm in such a good place. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's super
And
cool.
yeah, one of kind of going along the lines too of the experiences and living life, I thought one of my clients, he sent a really cool thread in our group chat. Just the overall theme was making the most of the time that we have left. And
Mhm.
it was specifically geared toward relationships and spending time with loved ones, but it can apply to anything. And I kind of took it more to the experiences and living life and going out and doing things that I normally wouldn't do. But basically, the gist of it, hopefully, I don't butcher this too much, is a lot of times we think that we have all of the experiences left and all this time left. But if we really like sit down and actually calculate the numbers of like how many times that you spent time with people and how much time you have left, oftentimes we spent about 90% of the time that we have with someone already done. So we only have about 10% left. So
Yeah.
I just thought it was a very interesting perspective of one sitting down and calculating that stuff. And then it also just makes you think like how many more times am I actually going to see this person or go to this event or whatever it is. And for me at least that puts it in perspective. And like with shows, for example, I love going to concerts and shows, but I always get stressed, so it's going to throw me off. So I'm like, realistically, I'm not going to go to that many more of these in my life. Like it's very limited. So why would I not go all in on that now and just have that experience, and especially knowing that it's very limited, and especially the overarching theme too, we don't actually know how much time we have left. But I just thought it was a very interesting theme and kind of just goes along with what I've been working on and kind of along the theme of the new year and setting intentions.
Yeah, I've seen some graphs before, and I guess it's just we just so caught up in just everyday life and everything that's going on, and we all know that we have a limited time here on Earth, right? We're not going to live here forever, but it's hard to like put that into reality. It's hard to think about. Oh, I only have so many, and I saw some, and I don't remember what it was, but it was some graph. It was like, at this age, you only have so much more time with your kids, and there's, or I saw one is like if you see your parents like once a year, and they're 7 years old, let's say, then you really only have what, maybe 10 more times you see them. And if you look at it like that, you're like, whoa, that completely changes the perspective of everything. So, but I think it's also easy to like not want to think about that.
Hmm.
And like, oh, 10 more times, that's like nothing. But surely that's not, like it's just easy to just kind of put that aside and not want to think about that.
Yeah, that basically exactly on the same lines of that thread I saw, which I think it's definitely tough to embrace. I think reading that can, I guess trigger isn't the right word, but like it can really make you be like, oh shit, and like almost second guess that. But I think it is important to reflect on that. And I always like to think too about death, like not in a weird morbid way, but just of living life and taking calculated risks and making sure that like you're pouring all into it right now, not leaving anything on the table, because really you don't know how much time you'll have left. And even if you have a general idea, like you said, it's very limited, more than we actually think.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very good thing to constantly reflect on. Again, not in a bad negative way, but just in making sure that you're savoring the right kinds of moments and pouring into the right things that actually matter.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. It's just something to reflect on and think about, and how you live every day for sure. So let's talk about, you had mentioned earlier, talking about that like on and off cycle, right? Like I kind of think about like kind of like a roller coaster type thing, right? So before we break down that solution, let's talk about why so many people kind of get stuck. It's super frustrating, but they get stuck in this cycle. It's either like there's a lack of knowledge, either our clients or someone that's going to the gym, they want to start this fitness journey. They either not quite sure what they need to be doing, or I see this a lot now on the flip side, there's so much information, it's like information overload, and so like a lot of people either don't know where to start or they don't know really what actually works. Especially nowadays, you go on social media and there's just so much conflicting, so much misinformation out there. It's got to be overwhelming, right? And I totally get like how confusing it would be to try to figure out the best plan when everyone is selling a new thing or selling their way of doing things and promising that their way is the right way or the only way, and don't listen to other people. And so there's just so many contrasting views out there.
Oh yeah, it's a nightmare. And speaking of that, did you see the FDA now says that eggs are healthy again?
Yes, the FDA approved. Uh,
Finally.
no comment on all that. Oh my gosh.
I know. It's yeah, it's funny. Uh, like eggs are one of the best foods that you can possibly eat, and they've always had this negative stigma just because of what the government puts out. And so now it's funny that they're going back on that and like, oh, actually, they are good for you.
No,
There are benefits.
I know. I mean, it's some people will refer to it as the perfect food, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah, but it just goes to
eat
show,
more
like,
eggs.
yeah, moral of the story.
Yeah,
But yeah, just goes to show how much conflicting information there is out there, and even the
yeah,
government is putting out this conflicting information. So overall, without a clear plan, it's easy to feel stuck or bounce between random programs that don't deliver actual results.
yeah. So let's talk about some. So time constraints is one thing that we think about a lot. Like most people, gosh, they're balancing really busy work schedules or family responsibilities and then just everything else that life just throws at you, right? And so it ends up feeling like there's just not enough time to fully commit to a plan. And it's easy to fall off when things just get crazy or it just we have those time constraints and things just don't quite go the way we want them to go, right? So like one unexpected event happens and you fall off or you just can't find a way to make your fitness plan balance and fit like in your life, especially when it starts getting busier.
Yeah, and I think another reason why people get stuck in that on-off cycle is just the unrealistic approaches. This is
Mm,
might be the biggest one, arguably. I think
yeah,
a lot of people go all in with extreme diets, cutting out entire food groups, jumping into intense workout routines that can't be maintained long term. And while it works for a little while, eventually they burn out or can't sustain it. And one thing I hear a lot on calls is, I tried keto or I tried these boot camp or whatever it is, input any extreme approach, and it worked a little
yeah,
bit, so I might try that again. And then I always like to challenge them, okay, did it actually work? If here you are now years later, gone through the cycle again and again and gained the weight back and more, did it
yeah,
actually work? That's not what we're going for. A lot of people have been at this for years and potentially decades and go through those spurts of consistency and progress, but never get to the point where they've actually feel like they've made it. And while you'll never reach the end of your fitness journey, I'm here to tell you that you should not have to diet the rest of your life. You should not have to stress about losing weight or gaining it back ever again. That's not how we're supposed to live. I tell this to a lot of people on calls because it breaks my heart to some extent that they feel like a failure for this.
yeah,
They've tried all these things and haven't seen the results they want. And I know sometimes we can end up putting that burden on ourselves, feeling like you failed or couldn't keep up with these things. And I get it, there's a lot of baggage that comes with it. It stacks and compounds over time. And every time you try something new, maybe there's that little voice in the back of your head saying, oh, maybe this won't work. But that's not the energy that we want going into a new program or any plan. But unfortunately, that's how we've been conditioned, especially when we try things and they don't work. But it's not your fault that if you couldn't keep up with those diets. I just want to put that out there. It's the methods. They were very restrictive with cutting out entire foods, and it's just very extreme and not realistic. And so as soon as you can develop the healthy habits and have a lifestyle that allows you to go out and enjoy things while seeing the progress you want, that's going to be where we want to achieve.
yeah. And I like what you said, sustainable. I mean, that's always our goal here is we want sustainable forever results. All right, so how do we help our clients break free? So breaking free from that on and off cycle we were talking about, it's not about being perfect. It's about creating that sustainable plan that fits into your life, that's going to build momentum and then helps you stay consistent. There's that word again. I like to talk about that. Consistency is so key, right? It's going to help you stay consistent over the long term. And that's exactly why we created the Unbreakable Coaching Process. It's built to help you not only get results, but then keep them for life. And it all starts with the first phase, which we call the groundbreaker.
Yes, this is all about building the foundation with better diet, better eating habits, improving energy, mental health, bringing health back to the forefront, and knowing exactly what to do to fit it into your busy and stressful work, family life. And the thing is, most people neglect the rebuild phase. They want to go right into the diet again when their body simply isn't in the place to do so. And so we need to instead go through a phase of building your metabolism and optimizing your body for fat loss, because a lot of people have high stress, low energy, they struggle with eating habits, not eating enough, and their metabolism just isn't working for them. And so, because most people's bodies aren't functioning right, you have the low energy, the high stress, the unhealthy eating or emotional habits. And these are all signs that you aren't fueling it properly enough to even go into fat loss. It's just not how your body works. And so, this rebuild phase is key because if you don't go through this process of fixing things first and building the right foundation, you're essentially just band aiding the issue and going to continue to stay stuck in that cycle. And so this first phase is all about laying that groundwork for long-term success. And this is where we address those foundational habits that most people overlook, but are absolutely crucial to seeing results. That way the cycle can be broken once and for all, and you never have to worry about these things ever again.
Yeah, so in this rebuild phase, so step one, we want to get a nutrition baseline, right? So we start by having our clients track their food for 2 weeks. And really, we just want to see what they're eating. It's not about restricting, it's not about judging yourself. It's about just building awareness and helping you understand or helping you better understand your body and how you need to refuel it. So you're going to build awareness of your current habits and your intake, helps you identify areas for easy improvement, and it provides a clear starting point to build from. I was thinking about this. It kind of reminded me of a client that mentioned peanut butter. He had a peanut butter observation, and he just started tracking. And he said, dude, what crazy person determined the servings for a PB&J? Like, is it really a PB&J with a tablespoon of each? And I just had to laugh because it's right. I mean, and peanut butter is kind of like those typical. If you don't know how much you're eating until you start tracking it, and you realize that, yeah, what we would like to put on our peanut butter and jelly sandwich is way more than what we should be eating.
Oh, it's a real eye-opening moment for people. So, step two is once we know your baseline, then we're going to set realistic calorie and protein goals tailored to your needs. So, this ensures that you're eating enough to fuel your body while setting you up for fat loss or muscle building, depending on whatever your goals are. And so, in this, you're going to navigate the conflicting information and confusion about what's right. You're going to get more energy. You're going to have less fatigue. There's going to be less cravings and hunger because we have the proper nutrient intake. And you're also going to get more change with the least amount of effort because a lot of people feel like they're putting in all this work and not seeing much out of it. So we want to make sure that that's efficient and effective as possible and
That's
making sure
super
that
fun.
we're facilitating the muscle building process and a faster metabolism. One thing I love to see is clients that come to us being stuck at a weight loss plateau for months or years potentially, and then they come on and in the first couple weeks immediately drop down past that and start seeing progress.
I love seeing that. That's so cool.
Yeah, getting those immediate wins makes a big difference, especially just when you know you have the right process and can actually get past that sticking point that you've been at for so long.
Yeah. So step three is we're going to optimize our food choices. So we're going to shift the focus to incorporating more whole nutrient dense foods that are going to work best for your body. And it's not about restriction. It's about eating in a way that makes you feel amazing. Eating in a way that your body loves, right? So you're going to get more consistent energy throughout the day, better sleep quality and recovery. That's going to be huge. Improved mood and mental health, reduce cravings, making healthier choices easier, and then you're going to build a stronger connection between how you eat and how you feel.
Yeah, for me, this was huge. I used to eat whatever was convenient. I had no idea how much it was impacting my mental and physical health until I started focusing on the whole foods. So that's what, again, really what changed the whole trajectory of my journey. And even one of my clients, I remember he came to me in the beginning and would say, "Hey, is it normal to have these midday crashes? Like, I just feel dead. Like, I can't eat. Otherwise, I hit this huge wall midday and I can't focus at work." I'm like, bro, that's not normal. No. So we focused on the food quality and the types of foods he was eating. So that way he was able to eat throughout the day because he was essentially fasting the entire day to avoid that crash. And I'm like, that's not how we're supposed to live. So it all comes down to those choices.
Well, it's so funny you said that because I actually saw some kind of random post or something, and it was like how 40-year-old guys try to fight the midday crash, and it was like this guy was like kept going in and out of different scenes, and he was like trying to fight falling asleep wherever he was, and it was pretty funny, but it's also like you said, like we kind of normalize that. Oh, you know what? You're just going to have a midday crash and you just have to try to fight it or have more caffeine or something. Like you said, that shouldn't be normal. That's not something that should happen whether you're 25 years old or 45 years old.
So that's a good point. I think all that kind of stuff is very common in today's
Mhm.
society, even just like the bloating, the brain fog, the midday
Yeah.
crashes, but it's not normal. And so really focusing on the food quality is what can expose that and show you what the real true normal should be and how you should be performing and feeling at the top of your game every day.
Yeah.
So step 4 is going to be getting a movement baseline. So we're assessing your current activity level, past injuries, and mobility to make sure we have a movement plan that's going to fit where you're starting. And so this improves flexibility, mobility, strength, and ultimately we want to eliminate chronic pain and improve joint health. We want you to move more freely without any limitations and just have a really solid foundation for effective workouts as we go and build and scale on that. And overall prep your body for long-term success, strength, and resilience, because I think most people come to us having all kinds of aches, pains, tightness, past injuries, chronic pains, and we always want to address that first so that way we can move freely, move without pain, and then go and continue to build on that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I had a client that was really concerned about getting started just because he's had some injury issues in the past, and almost like a fear, like if I start working out or I start pushing myself, I'm gonna get hurt again. And you know, it's we've all been hurt before. We've had injuries. It's no fun not being able to do things, and to have that fear of, hey, if I do start improving my life and start working out, and then I might hurt myself. That's, you know, going the wrong direction. And so, you know, we just created a system so that, you know, we got him into it, and he kept building and building. And now he's doing more and more of the things that he wants to do in life. And it's almost like a freeing effect. You know, he feels wonderful, feels awesome that he's able to do all these things.
Yeah, that one, I know who you're talking about, and that one's huge because I think he had issues with like every joint in his body was causing him pain and issues,
Yeah.
and it was limited. Like he was, like you said, afraid to start, and so now I know he said to us recently that he actually feels like this is something he can sustain long term because he doesn't have the pain and because it's becoming more natural and he can move freely. So I think that's huge. And even a lot of clients come to us with chronic pain, or knee pain is the biggest one I see all the time. But one in particular had super bad back pain that was always an issue. And just a couple months in, he's like, okay, it's already better. I can do my day to day stuff without pain. I can do these new movements without pain. So, especially when you lived with it for years and years, it can, again, it's one of those things that's common, but not normal. We don't need to live like that with pain every day.
Yeah.
Got to always address
Yeah.
the root cause.
Well, you know, and it makes sense, but most of the time we think about when we want to start a plan or a workout plan because we either want to lose weight or we want to get stronger, you know, for aesthetics looks, right? But man, like how amazing it is to get stronger and to eliminate this pain or the chronic pain that you have so that you can just move freely. I posted or reposted, I've seen this a bunch of times, but this commercial, I can't even think, I think it's I can't even think of what commercial it's for. But anyway, so it's about this old man. He's like lifting this kettlebell off the ground, you know, during like Christmas time in front of a Christmas tree. And we don't really know why. It just looks like he's trying to lift the kettlebell up and down. And then he goes see his family, and then he picks up his granddaughter to put the star on top of the tree. And you know, he was training just so he could be strong enough to be able to lift her up because it was just so special to him. Every time I see it, gives me goosebumps. But just being, you know, and he wasn't working to be stronger or, you know, to look better, like aesthetic wise, or to lose weight. He was working out just so he could lift his granddaughter up to that tree. And I mean, those kind of things are just amazing.
I know exactly what one you're talking about. I saw that too. I was like, damn, that one hits.
That's one of the best commercials. It's so well done.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so step 5 is weight training and steps. So we introduced a weight training plan that's tailored to your needs, focusing on getting comfortable with key exercises and building that strength. So increased muscle mass and strength. We're going to lower our stress levels, improve mental clarity. We're going to boost our confidence from seeing measurable progress in the gym, and then improved posture and reduce, risk of injury. So we establish a realistic daily step goal as well to keep your body moving consistently and without adding additional stress to it. So what that does is it boosts our metabolism, increases our calorie burn, supports recovery by improving circulation, enhances mood and focus with light daily activity that you can do all the time. And it makes staying active feel achievable. You know, we're getting those small wins all the time. Even on days that just seem kind of hectic and seems like I can't do anything, we're able to get that in.
Yep, and last and final step of phase one is hydration. We want to set a hydration target to support your body's daily needs, optimize performance, and this is in turn going to help reduce hunger and unnecessary cravings, improve your digestion and overall bodily functions, enhance your exercise performance and recovery, and just make sure that you're staying energized and focused throughout the day. By the end of this phase, you'll feel more energized, you'll feel confident and in control of your habits, and you'll have built the foundation for long-term progress by consistently hitting your nutrition, your movement, hydration goals, and also your body is in a safe and optimized spot for accelerated results. Because after completing this, fat loss becomes easy because your body's primed for it. So this should actually be the simplest phase of them all. So that's where phase two, the unbreakable results, come in.
Yeah, all right. So phase two. So the first step in phase two, so systematic calorie adjustment. So we're going to gradually adjust your calories and your macro targets based on how your body is responding. So ensuring that we get steady progress without, again, without any kind of extreme restrictions. And you're going to see consistent fat loss without feeling deprived. We're going to have manageable changes that fit into your lifestyle. And then we're going to build structure and keep progress sustainable.
Yeah, I can think of so many examples where we go into this and the fat just drops off. One of my clients set a goal I forget the exact number off the top of my head, but a certain amount of weight or a certain target by October. And he blew past that like 2 months early. And so he's like, all right, now what? Like, what's the next goal? um,
I love
and
that.
the, yeah, another one of my clients lost over 100 pounds now, but his most recent scan,
Wow.
yeah, huge.
Right.
But he showed the recent scan he got, the body scan showed a reduction just over the last few months of 22% body fat down to 9% body fat and 13% increase in muscle mass in just that few months.
Yeah, rock star status, right?
Yeah, so this is what
Love
happens when you
it.
prime your body. Again, the fat loss becomes easy. Whatever results you're going for becomes a lot more simple because you're in a good state for it and you've primed your body. And so step two then is going to be ramping up the weight training. So we're going to increase the complexity, intensity of the workouts and just continue building the strength and muscle. And in turn, you're going to get more muscle mass, more definition, improved strength, better body composition with more muscle definition, kind of like that client I just mentioned, boosting your metabolism for long-term fat burning potential, increasing your confidence, overall your abilities, your appearance, because the more you focus on yourself and you build yourself in the gym, the more it carries over into other areas of life. And overall, just your clothes fit better. You feel more confident, and it starts to again translate over into those other areas and how you show up at work, how you show up for your family. Another one of my clients, we went through this phase. We went through phase two. We hit his weight loss goals, and so now we're all in on a building muscle phase, like all on like kind of like a mini bulk, building muscle, building strength. And he's just been hitting crazy PRs each week and falling in love with that process too, because it's fun to master some of those movements and see the continuous gains and the muscle mass coming in. He said he's filling out his shirts, like his pecs are coming in, and so it's really fun to be able to see those results too. Like once you actually achieve the weight loss and can go on to the next phase of accelerated results.
Yeah, I mean, just think about what he wakes up every day and looks forward to, like, oh man, I can't wait to see what I get to do today, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next step is going to be ramping up our step count. So we're going to increase our daily step goal, and this is to optimize activity levels, support recovery. Again, we're just going to burn a little more calories without feeling overwhelmed. We're going to improve recovery, reduce soreness, and again, enhance mood and focus throughout the day. And that's going to be so key, especially for all these, everyone's busy, right? So if we can enhance that mood, improve that focus throughout the day, we can be so much more productive.
Absolutely. And step four, we're just going to continue to optimize our food choices. So we're fine tuning your food choices now, really getting into higher level details if needed, prioritizing high volume, nutrient dense foods to make fat loss easier. And overall, you're getting still more consistent energy levels, improved sleep quality, better recovery, reduced cravings, and which in turn makes it a lot easier to stay on track
Yeah, a
and
lot easier.
and enhance performance in the gym and just daily life in general.
All right, so the next step is gut health optimization. So we focus on improving gut health, and this is going to support digestion, mental health, and just overall well-being. So better digestion and reduced bloating. We're going to have improved mood and mental clarity, reduced inflammation, more balanced hormones, and then just enhanced overall health and vitality.
Yeah, gut health is so often overlooked, but it's such an important piece of the puzzle. So always want to
Very
make sure that
important.
we're including that. And step six, mental health habits. We know we can't forget that.
Yeah. Very
Mind
important.
and body, as we know, are very connected, but we still like to have very specific action items for each, the physical and the mental. And so we introduce mindfulness practices like journaling, meditation, breath work, or any other self-improvement practice to help support that emotional well-being as well, to in turn help reduce your chronic stress, improve mental clarity, and just have better peace of mind and ability to handle challenges that life throws at you. Improve your productivity and focus with daily life, especially at work, and just strengthen your relationships through better emotional regulation.
Yeah, and those specific action items, they are very individualized, and that's something you just do a deep dive with every client, and we just try to figure out what little things, what little levers can we pull that we can add value to your life to make your life so much better, and just make those little changes and get those big wins. I was thinking of another client, he's had so much success, just in general with his health journey, but what we don't often think about is how much value he's getting into spending more time with his family and improving his relationship with his wife, and that's just a lot of stuff you don't talk about or think about. But as all these things start clicking and these puzzle pieces start coming together, all the other aspects of your life improve as well.
Yeah, it's been cool to see him showing up as a better leader for his family. I know he's been setting like very specific structured dates for his kids and with his wife. And then even just having tough conversations, really diving deep and continuing to build and nurture their relationship so that they can pour more into the rest of their family. I think that is huge. And a lot of times you don't address that stuff until you work on these other areas first. And then, like we said, it translates over into every other area of your life.
Well, you build that confidence. You build that confidence that I can do these things and I can make these changes, and everyone around you is going to benefit from it.
Yeah, the same client I said who lost 100 pounds and all that, one of the best pieces of feedback he keeps giving me is just he feels fully bulletproof, especially mentally, because
Yeah.
he has dealt with a whole lot of shit the last year, and a lot of people that we work with, like a lot of hard stuff gets thrown at us, and it's just crazy how calm and focused and positive he's able to bend through all of it. And one thing he said is like he's never gotten that out of any other program or coach that he used, and so that's why I love the emphasis on the mental side too, and just making sure that we are truly bulletproof and able to handle whatever life throws at us physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah, and it's we've talked about this before, but we can't control what does happen to us, right? So the better we can handle and respond in certain ways, like you said, like he feels bulletproof. To me, that's saying that he feels like whatever's thrown at his way, like he can handle that with confidence and strength, knowing that he's going to get through whatever it may be.
So good. Yeah, we've been training him on that and just all about how you respond and how you take that and focus on the things that you can control to move forward and get to a better headspace and get to have a good plan to overcome whatever obstacle is being thrown at you.
Yeah.
So step 7 is going to be optimizing sleep. So just continue to refine sleep habits to make sure that we're recovering fully, feeling your best. So getting better recovery from workouts, again, better focus, productivity at work, improved overall health, longevity, and easier fat loss and better overall well-being. I think a lot of people don't consider sleep when it comes to fat loss, but that can be just the simple missing piece to why you're feeling stuck and stagnant.
Yeah, it really can. I got a funny message the other day from a client, and he said, I got a problem. He goes, I don't know what to do with this thing. I'm sleeping too much. Like it was just like bizarre to him. Like I don't know what to do. I'm getting this long quality sleep here.
These are the problems we like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my clients had that issue too. We really dialed in his sleep habits, and he just thought forever like he just couldn't sleep. He was just one of those people that gets 5-6 hours of broken sleep. He's like, oh yeah, that's just my life. And then I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
don't think so. Let's try a few things. And then he was like, oh wow. And so he's
Yeah.
been getting like 8-9 hours of just deep sleep. He's like, oh, I'm getting late for work because I keep sleeping too much. So yeah, this makes a huge difference.
That's awesome.
So that's all of phase 2, the accelerated results. And by the end of this phase, you will have achieved your fat loss goals while feeling stronger, healthier, more confident. But it's not complete if you lose weight just to gain it all back, right?
Right. Yes.
So that's why phase 3 is where we create the unbreakable lifestyle. The final phase is all about integration. We transition clients out of their diet, because that's a big piece that a lot of people miss too. What happens when you reach your weight loss goal? How do you actually get out of it properly? And typically this is what we call a reverse diet. But overall, phase 3 is where we help clients take everything they learned and apply it to real life, so that way they can maintain the results forever.
Yeah, forever. That's what I love to hear. So step one of this is you're going to learn to navigate uncertain schedules and travel, right? So like life does not stop after you hit your goals. It's not like, oh, I hit my goals and everything is just going to be smooth sailing from here, right? We're always going to have something. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a negative. I mean, there's always going to be vacations, work trips, and then just unexpected challenges in life. And so in this step, we teach you how to handle these situations without derailing your progress. So you'll feel confident navigating meals at restaurants, maintaining movement during really busy periods of your life, and then making smart choices just on the go. No more fear of that on-off cycle. You'll have that mindset, you'll have the strategies that are going to help you to stay consistent no matter what happens.
In step 2, we incorporate free days and overall flexibility. So we're going to guide you through the process of incorporating untracked meals or free days in a way that doesn't feel stressful or lead to guilt. So you can enjoy your favorite foods and experiences without worrying about undoing your progress. And this overall enforces the idea that balance is key. We have this in every phase, to be fair, but this is where we really lean into that the most because, again, we're creating that permanent lifestyle and we're transitioning you out of the structured routine diet to make sure that it's something that we can be able to live life and maintain our progress for good.
Yeah. Okay, so step 3 is continue to build long-term habits. So all the habits that we've developed in phases 1 and 2, like training, nutrition, mindfulness, they're all now fully integrated into your lifestyle. And you're not just maintaining these results, we're continually building on them. So you'll continue to improve your health, longevity, and performance. And this is going to kind of create like that ripple effect in every area of your life. So you get better energy, stronger relationships, and just a greater sense of fulfillment.
Absolutely. And step 4, we get to set new and exciting goals. I love this one
Oh,
because
yeah.
now that we've mastered the basics, the possibilities are quite literally endless. So in this step, we kind of help you dream bigger and set new goals, whether that's hitting certain PRs in the gym or trying new complex movements that we haven't done before, even just doing a challenging trail, signing up for other events or fitness-oriented stuff, or simply just feeling better and more confident in your body. But overall, you're going to feel more empowered to push beyond what you thought was even possible. And this phase opens the door to experiences and achievements that you never imagined before starting your journey, because originally you just wanted to lose weight. And so then you don't even think of all the other possibilities that are laying out there. And so once you achieve your initial goals, so many other doors begin to open. This is where it really gets fun because
Yeah.
you'll be equipped not to just maintain your results, but continue growing, evolving, and setting those new benchmarks for yourself.
Yeah, and so this made me think about I had a music teacher when I was young, when I was a kid, and he never smiled. He was like one of the best teachers out there, but he never smiled. But if you did something really, really well, he kind of had this like little grin on his face. And if he did that, you're like, oh yes, like I just crushed it. And it's fun like talking to clients when you kind of go over all this and you kind of get to that part where you're like, and then we're going to talk about, goals that you never thought were possible. I see that a lot. I see that little like grin, like, oh my gosh, like how amazing is that going to be, So, yeah, this is such a fun part of the phase.
Yeah.
All right, so why does this process work? So, what makes this process different is that it's not about the quick fix or the extremes. It's about meeting you where you're at, building habits that fit uniquely into your lifestyle, and creating a plan that is sustainable for the long term, for forever. And that's how you break free from that on-off cycle and we achieve results that actually last.
Yeah, we are adamantly against the extremes, the quick fixes, the fad diets, all that stuff. That is not what we're about. Again, it
We're
keeps
out on
coming.
those.
Yeah, we're all about the sustainability and, again, breaking the cycle for good. That's ultimately what it's all about. And even if that takes a little bit longer because we have to go through the rebuild phase, it's an essential part of it because you don't have to go through the cycle ever again, like we've been saying. So if you're tired of starting over, feeling stuck in that frustrating cycle, just know it doesn't have to be that way. You don't need another crash diet or impossible workout routine. We simply just need a plan that's going to work for you, your life, and the goals you have. So I hope that this episode gave everyone some clarity on why consistency can feel hard and how to actually start making progress that lasts for good. And if you're ready to take that next step, our coaching process is designed to help you do exactly that, so you never have to fall into that trap or cycle ever again. Or like I said, literally take this process and implement it into your own life. We want to give you the blueprint so that way you know exactly the steps that you need to take to see this true lasting change and break that cycle. And if this cycle sounds familiar and you haven't addressed each step of these phases, we'd love to help. So I'd love to chat for a few minutes and see how I can help you and your goals. We can go over what you're doing now, why it might not be working, and we can see if this process is something that's actually going to be a good fit for you. So I'll put a link to apply for a call below, and you can also connect with us on socials. I'll link those in the show notes as well. And we will see you guys next week.